Satnam, everybody. Welcome this morning to this group healing session to clear your money blocks. And I've been doing this work for 17 years, and I see miracles in the work that I do every day with people that come to me, clearing deep-rooted beliefs, ancestral trauma, karmic blocks, vows, contracts, spells. There can be an array of things that are affecting you in your life without you realizing it. And one of the ways that these blocks show up is in your relationship with money, because money is just energy. And so if cash or money is not flowing for you, or it flows into your life, but it flows as fast out as fast as it does flowing in, then that's an indication that there is an energy block. And that can be relating to lots of different things. So, for example, it may be that there are beliefs that you're not worthy of receiving that could come down through your ancestral line. There may be beliefs that you don't deserve to be happy that's playing out. Maybe you've made contracts in previous lives. There could be a contract to live in poverty. Maybe you had a past life in some kind of religion where it was forbidden to have money. All of these things can be playing out. There can be curses on your family line that are actually stopping you from being able to hold on to money. Maybe all your money goes out. Maybe that you had inheritance and then that money got frittered away or somebody else claimed it. That can be because there's curses on the family line. And all of these things are real. And they have a huge impact on our ability to be able to be successful and to be able to live the life that we deserve. But actually, our birthright is to be prosperous. And from the yogic perspective, prosperity isn't just about money. Prosperity is about being filled up by life. So when you're really living in alignment with who you are, then your cup runneth over and what you need comes to you with ease. But, maybe you've tried the vision boarding, maybe you've tried the mantras, but there's still blocks. And so these energy medicine sessions are really, really powerful at them being able to create these deep-rooted shifts on every level of your being. So through your emotions, through your thought patterns, through your energy field, through your beliefs, and then all that you're carrying from your ancestors or past lives. And this is really just the first step. So this session is part of a series that I'm going to be doing that starts on the 4th of February. We have a beautiful group forming of people that are ready to really go deep and to clear the old programs that are ready to step into 2026 with abundance, without burnout. And so if you are interested to know more about that program, which includes 6 energy medicine sessions with me, and then also 6 powerful Kundalini yoga classes. We start on the 4th of February, but just get in contact with me, drop me a message, or just write in the comment below prosperity, and I can send you all the details about that. So the way that group energy sessions work is that we create a group field. So even if you're watching the recording, there is an energy imprint in the group aura that we create together, and that you can then access that energy that's held in the recording. If you're watching it live, we're also creating a group aura, so all of us together, we have a resonance. So you're attracted to a group of people because you have a similar frequency, and therefore you're also going to have similar blocks. There'll be similar beliefs, there'll be similar ancestral programming, also stuff from the collective. I mean, there's like so much emotional charge around money on a collective level. And, all of that is held in the energy field. So whatever it is that we're holding on a subconscious level is a frequency. And this frequency is then having an impact on your physiology. So around every cell is an electromagnetic field. You also have an electromagnetic field around your physical body that holds a frequency. That frequency is like a transmitter. It's sending out all the time information into the universe, into your life, which then will be attracting the experience. When we start to shift that energy, we start to change your vibration, and therefore then you start to feel differently, and you also start to attract different experiences. So, when we do a group energy healing, it is really powerful because what we're drawing on is the observer principle. So you're observing whatever it is that's ready to come up to be cleared from the subconscious. When there's a group of that doing that, then we can enhance that process. And, it's an accessible way also of being able to get healings, which we all need. And we are coming to the end of the year of the snake. So on the 17th of February, that comes to an end. And then, we're stepping into a new cycle, a next 12 years, where we really want to get into alignment of like, what is our soul path? We want to clear these blocks. We want to clear whatever it is that's blocking us so that we can really open our heart and then we can be that fire horse moving forward, manifesting our dreams for 2026. So, when we're doing the group healing, even if something doesn't resonate with you, I want you still to tap it out because sometimes we're holding things deeply in the subconscious that we may not consciously be aware of. But when we're tapping the energy and we're clearing it, sometimes you get an aha moment afterwards of like, oh, I now know what that was about. So, and your participation is going to make this more powerful for you. So I'm going to be tuning into the group field and I'm going to be picking up information of like, what is it? What's the first layer? It's like an onion, layer by layer that we want to clear around these money blocks. And I'm listening to the field. I'm picking that information up with a muscle test. We call it a muscle checking. And I'm also using my intuition to find that information. And then we're going to tap. And the tapping is shifting the old energy. So my invitation to you is like, rather than just sitting there passively, engage with the process. We're going to be tapping over the head, over the heart to shift and clear this energy. What is it that's out of balance? What is it that doesn't serve you anymore? The more that you can tap and engage, the deeper it's going to be for you. And you might notice yawning, you might notice sensations, you might notice emotions coming up. That's all really good. Also, you may not notice anything straight away, and that's also fine. That doesn't mean it's not working for you. When we do these sessions, we're working deeply in the subconscious, and for some people, the shifts are straight away, and for other people, it may be a little bit of a slow burner. So you might notice things, a few days later, a week later. It's about really looking out for the subtlety, because the subconscious is subtle, but it's deep. It's like 90% of what plays out in our life is come from the subconscious. We're not really consciously aware of what's going on. We might be walking around, we're not thinking, oh my God, I'm not safe, the world is dangerous, or I don't deserve to receive. That's happening on a subconscious level. So when we work with the subconscious, there is an unwinding that happens over time. That's why when I do the energy medicine program around prosperity starting February, we do a session every 2 weeks to really build a momentum, but also give time to integrate. So I'm going to teach you, first of all, two techniques, which I always do at the beginning of my energy medicine sessions with clients, which works on balancing the brain and also reducing stress. So we want you to be in a relaxed, receptive, open energy in order to be able to receive. So let me just teach you how to do that first of all. So one hand, doesn't matter which one, is going to come to the back of the head, and you're going to have the fingers closed and the thumb is in the nape of the neck. You're going to take a deep breath in and out. You're tapping in the energy field of the brain, and you're just thinking about connecting the two sides of the brain. Then we're tapping over the energy field of the heart, and we're breathing, and we're just thinking about calming down the amygdala, which is the fight flight center, which is also called the second heartbeat, develops just after the heart in the fetus. And then breathing in and out, tapping over the abdomen. And we're just thinking about calming down the nervous system. Okay, then we're going to move our hand to the next position. So where the little finger is, we're going to move the hand up one. We're going to do it again, breathing in and out, tapping. Just connecting the two sides of the brain. And then breathing in and out, tapping over the heart. Calming down the amygdala. And over the abdomen. Calming down your nervous system. Okay, then we're going to go to the next position up your head, breathing in and out, tapping. Just connecting the two sides of the brain. And then breathing in and out, tapping over the heart, calming down the amygdala, and then over the abdomen, calming down your nervous system. Okay, we're going to go to the next position. So all the way down to the eyebrows. Don't worry if you haven't got there just yet. We've all got different size heads. So breathing in and out, tapping. Just thinking about connecting the two sides of the brain. Breathing in and out, tapping over the heart. Calming down the amygdala. And then over the abdomen. Calming down your nervous system. Okay, and then bringing the hands either side of the head and taking one hand away, breathing in and out, tapping, just connecting across the whole brain. And then breathing in and out, tapping over the heart, just thinking again about resetting the nervous, balance, calming down the amygdala, the fight-flight response. Deep breath in and out, and then over the abdomen, calming down your nervous system. And then just imagining that there's a flow of energy up the spinal cord to the higher centers of the brain, and from the higher centers of the brain down the spinal cord in both directions, and then across the whole brain. So really connecting the brain to the body to the brain. It's really good. It's like very grounding. It gets the two hemispheres of the brain working together, and we're also balancing the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. So hopefully you're just feeling more here, more grounded, more present in your body, letting go of any thoughts or distractions. So the second technique we're going to do is called switching. So this is about bringing your threshold for stress up to normal. So if we've been holding a lot of stress or worry or anxiety around money particularly, then, we can go into a switching state. When we're switched, it means that our ability to deal with stress is really low. And that over time starts to knock out the other systems of the body. So the nervous system becomes dysregulated, the digestive system starts to be affected, your immune system starts to go down. So it's like a domino effect. So what we want to do is bring your threshold for stress up to normal so that your whole nervous system and your brain and your body is working together in a more relaxed way. And then you're going to be more receptive to the session. So with this one, we're going to be holding these dips. So what you've got the clavicle and you're coming to the end of the clavicle and then you're just bringing one finger down. So you can see it's about an inch down between the first and second rib. You're just going to hold those dips. Then you're going to hold over the eyes. You're going to press on the eyelids, pressing on the dips. And then when you're ready, taking the hand away, breathing in and out, tapping. And then you're just thinking about resetting the nervous system to deal with stress better. And then breathing in and out, tapping over the heart. And just thinking about bringing your threshold for stress up to normal. And then over the abdomen and resetting the nervous system to deal with stress better. And then coming back to the eyes. And again, pressing on the eyes until you see a change of color, taking the hands away, breathing in and out, tapping. So again, just thinking about resetting the nervous system to deal with stress better. And then tapping over the heart, so massaging those dips. And usually they're tender on most of us as we hold a certain level of stress. So we're just thinking about bringing your threshold for stress up to normal. Deep breath in and out, and then over the abdomen. And again, just thinking about resetting the nervous system to deal with stress better. And then coming back to the eyes. And then relaxing. Okay, so just getting myself in a nice comfortable position. So as I said, we're going to be tapping out. So I'm going to be finding all the information that we're going to be clearing, and then we're going to be tapping it out together. Even if something doesn't resonate with you right now, you may find that something drops in later as the subconscious as these things come into the conscious mind. So I'm just tuning in to all of you that are joining live, but also all of you that are going to be watching the recording, and that energy field that we're creating together, that frequency of energy that we create, that group aura. And I'm just asking for the field to really guide me as to what is it that's showing up that's ready to be shifted, but also what you're ready to let go of, because it's always determined by your subconscious. So, it's like I'm not here making things happen. I'm really just listening, I'm tuning in, and it's your body that's actually your body wisdom that's going to do the healing. That it's your subconscious that actually clears the blocks. Just going to be listening, taking the information. Okay, so setting the intention then to work with this first layer of these money blocks. What is it that needs to be cleared in this field? What is it that's ready to shift? There's a belief. Okay, so there's a belief that money is bad. So, that can be also held on a collective level. It may be something that you're holding ancestrally. So you may or may not resonate with that, but sometimes you may be holding a belief that has a similar energy, maybe not exactly the right words, but we're pointing to that energy so that the subconscious be like, yep, okay, I'm going to let that go. So that's the first thing. Money is bad, or money is dirty. Remember, money is just energy. That's all it is. But we're conditioned into these beliefs that are really deeply ingrained. So we want to let that go. We're going to do a clearing from a body part, from the brain. So we haven't got details. Sometimes we need to go into an actual specific brain part or be more specific. We're just going to work with the whole brain. So, we can be holding memories, we can be holding beliefs, we can be holding ancestral energies that, again, they're held in the energy field around the brain that then affects the physiology. So, for example, if we're holding a belief, that then can be activating the fight flight response in the brain. So let's just see, what do we need to clear? There's an emotion. It's grief. And there's another emotion, worry. So, again, that it could be grief from perhaps losing money, or it could be grief that your ancestors lost money, but also worry. Maybe you're noticing that you worry around not having enough, for example. Okay, we're going to link to something else. We're going into the mind. Okay, and we have some thought forms. So thought forms are like habitual patterns of thought. So I'm just going to look this up. I have some charts on my phone. So I just need to look these up and just see, like, what is it exactly? What thought form? And these are like umbrella um, terms. So let's see. Okay, and it's the thought form of abstinence. So it may be, I can't afford I can't get that for myself because I can't afford it, for example. So it's the whole program, the subconscious program that you are carrying around abstinence. I can't have that because whatever, whatever that program is for you. We want to clear that in the root, in the subconscious. Let's see if there's something else. There's despair. There's disempowerment. For some people, it may be like they don't like their job and they feel like they can't leave it because they need the money, so there's an element of disempowerment in that. Or that, there could be a whole belief system and thought patterns around that I can't earn money from doing something that I love. So, all of these patterns, beliefs are just very, very deeply ingrained thought patterns that then build a very strong energy field. So within these thought forms are going to be beliefs and they're going to be emotions. So it's like an umbrella term. Let's see what else. Failure. That's a big one for a lot of people. They have to work hard to be successful, for example. Again, these could be collective, they could be ancestral. We don't need to be specific at this point. Also lack. So, going into that lack mentality, those lack thoughts, we want to clear that out. Okay, so this is the first thing that we're going to clear. If you are a visual person, you can imagine that there is a color in the brain that is representing the grief and worry. If you're not visual, if you find it really hard to do that, then don't worry because the energy is still going to shift. But sometimes it can be really helpful just to engage in the process. So I want you to tap over your head and over your heart. So what we're clearing is the belief that money is bad. Money is dirty. We can just let that go. That isn't you. These are just thought patterns that you've picked up from the collective, from your parents, from your ancestors, from your own life. You can let that go. And then we're clearing grief and worry from the brain. If you're visual, you can imagine a color that represents those emotions. And then you can imagine either water or fire or breath or light clearing away those colors. And if not, you can just think it. So just engaging and breathing, the energy's still going to move. And then we're clearing these thought forms of abstinence, despair, disempowerment, failure, and lack. And again, these thought forms are a frequency that we're holding in the energy field. And with our intention, we can just let them go. We don't need to hold on to them. Just taking deep breaths. So you may yawn, you may feel a bit tired as the energy starts to shift. Deeply breathing. Your tummy might gurgle. So I'm a very visual person. So I'm visualizing a lot of light coming into the brain and clearing the color yellow that's representing grief and worry. But for you, it might be a different color. It's still going to work if you can't do that. And as I'm tapping this out, I am tapping for all of you. I'm not just tapping for myself. I am holding the group field. So as I'm yawning, there is a shift happening through the whole energy field that we are part of. And it's very strong, this energy. So just keep going with the tapping and swap hands if you need to. I'm feeling a lot of like grief and sadness moving through, your feelings of loss. And we're just going to keep tapping until the hands come to a stillness. So I can still feel there's a lot of energy that wants to move through. Okay, that's really good. So just relaxing, just let that energy move through. So you might notice tingling, you might notice emotion like I'm feeling like a lot of like sadness and grief. You might notice other emotions moving through you. So just let that happen. It's just energy. We're just clearing those blocks. So just breathing deeply. If you're not used to energy medicine, then really just like allowing yourself just to be in the experience that you're having, whatever that may be. If doubts or insecurities creep up, then just know that's part of the clearing. You can just let all of that move through. Oh, sometimes we just need to wait after we've tapped out for the energy to move. Mm. Okay, that's really good. The energy is very, very strong, so that's a really good sign. Okay, let's just see. We need to just give a little bit more time. So, sometimes after we've tapped out, it's very quick that we move on to the next thing. And for some other times, we need to just wait. And maybe we just need to wait for a few more minutes just to allow the energy to move. So you can just sit quietly with the eyes closed. And you'll find that the more that you do this work, the more that you'll feel stuff moving through. Oh, that was very strong. Oh, quite emotional there. Okay, so let's just see whether we can move on. Yeah, so we're going to go to an organ and we're going to the spleen. So in Chinese medicine, the spleen is about receiving. If you are an overgiver, if you give out too much in your life, the spleen gets depleted. That then means your digestion gets depleted. You get weaker, your energy field gets weaker, you don't have so much energy, your immune system gets weaker. But the spleen is all about receiving. It's about I'm worthy of receiving. It's about nourishment. And so often when there's a depletion in the spleen, it can be about those issues. So let's just have a look and see. Again, I'm just going to look on my charts here. What is it about the spleen that's out of balance? Okay, so first of all, digestion. So this isn't just about digestion of food, this is about the digestion of our thoughts, of our emotions. Like the digestion helps us to process our life experience through us. And if we're not digesting properly, then those things can get stuck and cause a block. Let's see what else. Also, the emotion of worry. Now, each emotion has its own virtue in the body mind. So, worry is when it's in a distortion, is not, excuse me, is not helpful for us because then we get depleted. But actually, if we can use worry in the digestive system to strengthen digestion, strengthen the spleen, digest our thoughts, digest our emotions, then it is helpful. So that's what we want. We want everything moving through. We also want to just bring in more self-love and self-worth. So the spleen, because about receiving, it's very much about our self-esteem. And there could be that there's issues around not loving yourself, not feeling worthy, etc. So we want to start to change those programs. We want to work with abundance. So moving into that mindset, that consciousness that actually you're filled up by life, that you deserve to receive. And we are going to work on receiving nourishment. And that nourishment is going to be on every level. That's going to be love, that's going to be um, money, it's going to be opportunities, it's going to be time for yourself, the conscious relationship, the pay rise, whatever that is. It's like being filled up, receiving all of those all of those gifts from life because that's your birthright. You deserve it. Okay, we're going to link to something else now, the mind. And we're going to oneness. So, oneness is our essence. Oneness is the connection to all that we are. When we're in connection to all that we are, we're expansive. Our energy field is expansive. We're connecting to that knowing that we are deeply held and supported with each breath and each step that we take in our life. That's really the essence of us. And that when we're connected to that essence, there's ease, there's joy, there's a sense of freedom, there's a sense of abundance. So we want to really remind our identity of who we are. We don't want to be identifying with our limited mind and our limited thoughts. We want to expand. We want to be in that space of like knowing, feeling that we're so supported by life. And the more that we're in that, the more that we can let go, we can surrender, and then we can receive. So that's the next part of this. And then we're going to memories, and we're going to an inherited memory. And this is ancestral. So, our ancestors had a hard time mostly. I mean, of course, there was also wonderful things that happened to them. But, life was tough. So let's just see. We're going to an ancestor. We're on the father's side. It's to do with loss and it's to do with money. So, of course, each of you are going to have a different ancestry, but the resonance of loss, the resonance of loss of money is going to be similar, maybe different circumstances, but the frequency is going to be the same. And so, therefore, the subconscious will be able to latch onto that energy and be like, okay, we're going to clear this. So, let's just see, is there any other details on that? No. But we are working with a vow or contract. Let's see. And there is a contract. So it's like a kind of it's like a promise that's been made around not receiving, not deserving. And these things can be done without even realizing it. Like we can make a very strong statement to the universe because our words have power. And so, maybe an ancestor lost money and then maybe they made a statement like, I'm never going to do that again, or, I'm never going to put myself in that position again, or, something like that. And it's like a stamp. It's like a an energy imprint that then gets passed down through the generations, which you can be carrying, which then is blocking you from being able to receive all the abundance that you deserve. So the fact that that's coming up in this session is a great sign that it's ready to be released. You can let it go. Just by observing that energy is enough to then start to shift it. So let's just see if there's anything else. So let's have a look, like, how is this ancestral energy around loss? How is it affecting you? It is an emotion, grief. Maybe they lost their fortune, maybe they lost their home. It may not even be something that you are consciously aware of, maybe further down the ancestral line, but it's impacting you. There's another emotion. There's anger. Okay, we're also working with an archetype. And so in this system of energy medicine, which is called Body Talk and Acuconnect, and we use the planets as archetypes. So they are just representing energy that we hold that is maybe out of balance. So let's just have a look and see. So we're going to be balancing and resolving an energy. And it's to do with the moon. So the moon is the feminine. Let's have a look. The subconscious, we want to clear deeply in the subconscious. this ancestral pattern. Let's see what else. Okay, so it's like this is having an impact on your rhythm, of your life. The subconscious plays out so much of what is determined in our lives. So we want to bring the subconscious rhythm into balance rather than holding the frequency of loss, being undeserving. We want to be moving really into that space of like, yes, I deserve this, I can receive. So we just want to just clear that and balance it on a deeper level. Let's see, is there anything else on this? No. But let's just see if there's anything else that we need to balance in relationship to this ancestral energy. There's a chakra and the base chakra. So the base chakra is very much about money. It's very much about manifestation. So let's just have a look and see like what is the imbalance there in the base chakra. There's insecurity. There's fear. And then we want to move into a space of this drawing on the superpower of the base chakra. So let's have a look. Abundance. So we want the base chakra to be wide. We want a solid foundation. We want to feel secure. We want to feel supported in life. We want to feel abundant and just coming into that sense of being. And let's just see what else. Okay, so we've got all of this information. We're going to tap it out. So I'm just going to tell you as we go. So tapping over the head and the heart. So first of all, we're balancing the spleen and the spleen meridian. So the spleen is like an organ here on the left side. Very in Chinese medicine, very much associated with the pancreas, with digestion, about receiving. So we're strengthening digestion. We're balancing worry so that we can digest our thoughts and our emotions and our life experience through us. So we're not holding blocks, everything moving through. We want to bring in more self-love, more self-worth, more abundance, and being able to receive nourishment. So as we're tapping this out, we're clearing anything which is in the contrary to that, any old programming that's stopping self-love, that's stopping self-worth, that's stopping abundance. Just letting all of that go. And we're connecting to the oneness of who we are, that expansive energy, that knowing that we're supported and looked after with each step and breath that we take in our life. Coming into that place of ease and joy, just because it's our natural state, not because it's connected to anything on the outside of us. And then we're clearing these ancestral energies. So we're clearing this energy of loss around money on the father's line. Wherever that goes back to, we just let your subconscious find that energy and clear it out. And we're clearing this contract around being undeserving, of not receiving, and just letting that go. That's an old program. We don't need to carry it. It's not even yours. So just letting that go. We're also clearing grief and anger associated with that ancestral energy. We're balancing the subconscious and the rhythms rather than holding this ancestral energy, one of flow and abundance. And then we're clearing insecurity and fear out of the base chakra, moving into abundance and really connecting with your beingness, that presence, that sense of safety. So just breathing. So I'm holding the intention for all of that. You don't need to remember it all. Just breathe, just trust that your body mind knows how to clear. Just giving permission for your body mind to let it all go. All you have to do is just tap and breathe. Mm. Again, I'm feeling quite emotional. I'm feeling like a lot of grief moving through. You might feel a different emotion, but just stay with it. The moon is the feminine. It's like there's that feminine cycle of being in rhythm, your rhythm, rather than someone else's. It's dropping down into the base chakra, letting go of fear, letting go of insecurity, moving into that space of abundance, letting go of all of those ancestral energies. Feeling, letting that the energy of the spleen draws energy up through the meridian into the spleen. If the spleen meridian finishes under the armpit. Mm. That's good and relaxing. And just letting that energy move through. Remember, this is the first layer, you know? It's like sometimes these ancestral energies or these contracts run very deep. So we're peeling the first layer. Sometimes we have to come back and it's another layer, and or like unraveling a ball of string. And little and by little, we're unraveling the knots until it's completely undone. So it ne not necessarily mean it's done and dusted in this one session, but a layer is being cleared away. What you're ready to let go of will clear. So again, just relaxing and breathing. Yeah, you're still downloading that. Mm. Yeah, you're still downloading that. Okay, you're still downloading. So again, sometimes when it's very deep, we just need to give a little bit extra time. So, maybe noticing what is arising in you. Maybe there's a feeling of heat or tingling or prickling or emotion, or maybe there's some memories arising as this energy moves through. It's like just allowing it all just to flow, let it go. Okay, so that is all we're going to do for this session. So I really hope that you can feel the energy and the power in these group healing sessions of like how much can actually clear and move through, and that this session isn't finished now. You're going to be processing that over the next couple of weeks. And, just thanking all of you, those of you that joined live, those of you that are watching the recording, because your energy is also contributing to the power of the shift that's happening in these sessions. If you'd like to go deeper, if you feel inspired to really clear more deep-rooted blocks, then just drop me a message or a comment below this video. I'll send you the details of the 12-week program that I've extended. We started in January, it got sold out. I'm just opening up a few more spaces for February. Just let me know if you'd like to join. Sending you so much love, and I'd love to hear how you get on with this session. Sat Nam.